What's good, Bears fans? With mandatory minicamp wrapping up and all the love we've been giving to the offense, we're going to switch gears this time and we're going to talk about the guys that we're looking to thrive on defense. Me and the guys are going to talk about all that and a little bit more next on the Chicago Sports Podcast.
Let's go. Yo. Get up, nah, I ain't a quitter. Toss me the ball, I'm a really big hitter. Big picture, I'm a straight killer. Rising the song to the highest bidder. Got juice, got gas, I'ma move fast. New shoes, new tracks, like who's that? I'm new, come back, better than last. Yeah, it's a new me, never gonna look back. Never gonna look back. Cause damn, I was built to last. You move slow and I move fast. And that's facts.
Hey, welcome to the Chicago Sports Podcast. I'm your host, D Nice, and tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk some defense. Now, we've been giving the offense a lot of love these last couple of shows, talking about the quarterback position, talking about the guys in the skill position, and talking about the guys up front on the offensive line. We even gave a little insight on our feelings about the running back position. But tonight, we're talking defense. And we'll be talking about specifically on the defensive end, we're talking about the guys that we're looking to reach that next level under this new coaching staff. And we can also talk about the guys who may not make this roster. You know, it's all worth a conversation at the end of the day because it's about the makeup of the football team. But our sole concentration is going to be on the defense tonight. So I give you guys an opportunity to get on in here and get settled. And appreciate the ones that's rocking. Appreciate you rocking with me tonight. I will have a guest popping on with me, I guess, shortly. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Let me get back to where I was. Yeah, we're talking defense tonight. We're talking guys who we think is going to thrive and take their game to the next level under the tutelage of our new defensive coordinator and the new coaching staff. And we're going to speak about guys who just may not make this roster because that's the reality of the National Football League. You know, that's one thing we can't get away from. I would love to sit up here with you guys and just focus on the straight positives, but unfortunately, that's just unrealistic. We have to talk about the negative as well. You know, and the negative is from the standpoint of the guys that may not make the roster. Them not making the roster might be a positive for the Bears team, but you know, you never know. So, with that being said, come on in here. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. My guy for sure is and it may not, it may be, what I'm saying, an easy pick, but for me, my guy is definitely Gervon Dexter, number one. He had an awesome year last year, and I really think I really think he could take it to that next level. I'm more than sure of it. I'm gonna let my guest come on in here. Ed,
Hey Darius, how are you, buddy?
hey, what's going on, sir? How are you?
Oh, I'm well, except for I was in the wrong link for a little bit.
Hey, don't
I was
worry
sitting there
about it,
thinking
man.
I was waiting for you since 7:55. I was in the wrong link, I guess.
Yeah, don't worry about it, man. We got it. We
I
got you
found the
covered.
right place, man.
Yeah, welcome, welcome. You're very welcome. And actually, you can't. Your timing couldn't be better. We're
Awesome.
talking. We're having a conversation here on the guys that we think that's going to thrive, take their game to the next level under this new coaching staff under Dennis Allen, and we're strictly talking defense. Ed,
Sure.
we've given a lot of love to the offense in the last couple of weeks, and we've only scratched the surface on the defense. This time tonight, we're going to make it all about the defense. I think it's
Right
worth a
on.
conversation. What you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Defense didn't quite get as much love from the brass either. You know, they got some shiny new toys, but not like the offense did. But they were in better shape though. Um, so that's why. But
yeah. I got I got guys from each level of the defense who I'm gonna share my thoughts on, and then I guess we can go back to back if you will. Um, the first guy I chose I think he was an easy pick, and that's Gervon Dexter.
that'd
I
be my
think
guy on the line. Yep.
yeah, I think he's gonna have he had a very good year low key. Um, you know, outside of circumstance. He had a very good year. It could have been a lot better, but hey, man, listen, it was better than his rookie year. So all we want to see is improvement year after year. Yeah.
Yeah,
For me, that guy in the trenches is Gervon Dexter. For me, what says you?
I'm with you on Dexter, and I agree. He had a good year, but it could have been better. He slowed down a little bit in the latter part of the season, but um, uh, his stats pretty daggone good now. I, I know you've seen Trax and Michael posting different stuff here like a week ago or so about Dexter, and that looked like his numbers stacked right up against Carter's from Philadelphia,
Yep.
and he had half the snaps, man, half the snaps.
Yeah.
So so it was a damn decent year for him. Um, but I'm with you. I think with Dennis Allen, the guy I would think that would make the biggest step uh would be Dex. And but I'm a little concerned. I don't know if you are. He lost a lot of weight over the off season. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Um,
Well, it
a little. Yeah.
like we're hearing a lot of rumblings. But do we really know where he's going to line up 100% of the time? These guys have made it a point to stress versatility, and they brought in guys that can play inside and outside. And maybe that may be a thing for Gervon as well. I don't think he's going to strictly be at that three technique position. I think it's going to be some times where he kind of like pops in and outside from inside to outside, just depending on, the type of tricks Dennis Allen want to play with the front line, just to bring some deception to the game.
Yeah.
So maybe him slimming down a little bit is a tell sign of that. But we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see.
The way guys look into mini camp and OTAs and stuff like that. My focus is how they look going into training camp. Though it seems like it's a very short window, it's still a little time away.
Yeah, we got a little time.
So maybe he's preparing to play inside and outside, but who knows? But yeah, he's made this to be the second transformation to his body in 2 years. So maybe he's trying to figure something else out, or they may have something else in mind for him. So we'll see. Um, Another
Yeah,
guy
and
for
we
me.
don't know. We don't know if that was his decision or they uh uh enticed him to lose that weight, or if he did that on his own. We don't know. We don't know none of that. It ain't come out.
Well, he's a basketball player at heart.
Hmm.
He's made that be known. He's a former basketball player. So
Yeah, and a pretty daggone good one
yeah,
too.
I think his body is made to, look a certain way. So I don't know. But like I said, maybe they may have whispered in his ear and, put him on to something that we don't know anything about and we probably won't find out about till training camp.
If we do,
If we do, right, right, right.
right?
Yeah. But the next guy is going to be a little surprise to everyone else because everyone has been pretty down on him since he's got here, as a matter of fact. Maybe because he has some huge shoes to fill in Roquan Smith. And that's Tremaine Edmonds. Tremaine Edmonds, was looked to come here and make a sudden impact instantly with the Bears, and it just hasn't been there. Me
Yeah,
personally, me personally, I blame it on the scheme. I think that covered two things for him. Sitting back waiting on, the quarterback to make decisions and being passive from a defensive standpoint. I really do think that hurt his play. I think he's more of an aggressive style guy, which was shown when he played at Buffalo. They played a very aggressive style defense there, and it fit him pretty well. And coming into this new scenario with the hits principle and the cover two scheme that our former coach wanted to run, it didn't fit him too well. But coming into this with Dennis Allen, I think he's headed for a big year. Me personally.
I hope you're right. I hope you're right because he was the big money contract. And yeah, we saw them highlights of that heavy hitting, uh, aggressive dude, big, linebacker that we was getting from Buffalo, and yeah, hadn't really shown a lot of that here, and I hope you're right, and Allen's system fits them better
Yeah,
because we
and
need we need we need more from him. There's no doubt about it. We need more
absolutely,
from him.
no doubt about it. Uh, TJ Edwards has played up to his contract and played up to what we thought he could be, but
Pass.
Tremaine has left a lot to be desired. And let's not leave out the fact the kid is only still 26 years old. He came into this league very young, and
Yeah,
he's still only 26 years old. So there's still a lot of room for growth, and he has some making up to do. And I believe he will. I believe
and
he will.
am I wrong, or would this be a contract year for him? That's next year, ain't it?
I think it's next year. If I'm
Yeah, I
not
think it's
mistaken.
next year.
Yeah, I haven't looked into
I
his
think
money
it's
too
next
much,
year.
but I
Yeah,
think it is next year.
because I think he got a 4 year when he.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that'd be next year.
yeah. So that's my guy as far as linebacker is concerned. That's my guy that I'm looking to have a tremendous leap in this new defensive scheme. Now going into the secondary. Well, I'll let you go next. I'll let you go. You tell me how you feel about. You can tell me the next guy.
Linebacker. I, you know, I hope you're right about Edmonds. I don't expect any different out of Edwards. I think he's going to be just as strong as he has been. And yeah, hey, he played better than his contract worth, and then signed a team friendly extension. He loves it here. You could tell he does.
Hmm.
I love Edwards, man. He's my dude in that linebacker room. But I'm excited about the kid, man. You know, they're showing him right now. If you look at the depth chart, they got him. They got him at the strong side, starter number one. We don't know that yet. You know,
Yeah.
probably they don't. But man, I hoping he gets it. Uh, and I hope he shows out as a rookie. I got high hopes for the kid.
Hippolyte.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen. What he's shown on tape, at the University of Maryland, the speed, the effort that he's shown, I hope it all translate into training camp and all through the regular season. But it's a lot of unknown there.
Sure.
These guys have been doing a lot of practicing in shorts and running a lot of drills, so everybody looks good. If you're looking bad at this stage of it, maybe football is not for you. But hey, listen, I'm with you, Buck. Hippolyte can really turn some heads and really bring some extra excitement to this football team if he's able to become a starter, either on
Yeah.
the defensive end I'm sure he can make an instant impact on special teams. Guys
Yeah.
like that, they're made for special teams. But if he
Yeah. But
can,
I don't want
if
to
he,
see him there. I don't
you
want to see
don't,
him there. I want to see him playing on defense, man.
I don't
That'd be
blame you.
great. That'd be
I don't
great.
blame you. Yeah, that'll be awesome. That'll be real. That'll be fantastic. As a matter of fact, um, is it anyone else? It doesn't have to be at that linebacker position. Is there anyone else you got your eye on from a defensive standpoint?
You know what? I talked a lot of stuff about Tyreek Stevenson,
Hmm.
and uh, maybe rightfully so too, right? Um,
Yeah,
but but I think that he is going to. There ain't gonna be none of that. Dennis Allen ain't gonna put up with none of the no kind of stuff. You know what I mean? They ain't gonna
yeah,
be. They ain't even gonna. You ain't even gonna. That ain't gonna come into play. Um, Plus, you know how bad he feels about that whole thing, how that went down, and uh, um, he's man. Every time somebody puts a mic in front of his face, that's all they want to know about. Hey, man, you remember the time when you? Oh, see, that's played out with him. He's gonna buckle up them shoestrings, man, and I think he's going to get down to business, and I think not only Dennis Allen, but uh, I never remember the dude, man. Is it Al Harris or? Uh,
Al Harris, the secondary coach.
yeah, man. I think they're going to tune that kid in, and he could play football. I mean,
Yeah,
he yeah. I think he's going to buckle it up, man. I think he's going to have a standout year this year. I expect to see him have a
can't
standout year
go can't go wrong with that.
amongst all
Cannot go
them
wrong
other
with that.
standouts in our secondary, right? 'Cause we got
Yeah,
a badass secondary.
absolutely. And Tyreek having a good year, I think he's due for one.
Sure.
This is he's coming into his third year in the NFL, and usually around this time, guys seem to emerge if they're going to be that guy. These guys coming into their third year, this is the time when they really maturate into their position, into who they're going to be. So, hey, listen, I hope Tariq can make people forget about what happened last year. It's probably gonna take him about 4 more years of great play for them to forget it. But you know, the sooner the better, because I think we all have to kind of like turn our tassel to that situation and just charge it to the way the season went last year.
Yep.
Because it's no need to. continue to beat the guy up about it. It
No, we can't
happened.
change it. He can't change it. It's a done deal.
And then what do you truly expect this new coaching staff to come in here and do about that? You know what I mean? Listen, these guys are moving on. They probably hadn't even talked to him about it, to be honest with you.
I
You know,
guarantee they haven't. I guarantee
yeah,
they haven't.
it's the
They,
thing.
there's no good to come from it. Just let it lay.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. He can't blame him for that forever. And at the end of the day, that was only one game, and we had 12 losses on the season.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, hey, man, let's let's put that in a box and burn it
Yep.
and move forward. I'm gonna shout out to some people in the chat that I see here. Shout out to AC, Miss Cheryl, James Childress in the house, of course. Shout out to Trax. Shout out to Ron Wernarski. Bear down to you, sir. But bear down to everyone checking us out. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to receive notifications and hit that thumbs up. And if you have some thoughts about, who you guys think can emerge under this new regime defensively, please put it in the chat. Please leave a message under this video. Sharing your thoughts. We promise we respond to all. But next for me, Ed, I wanted to go Tyreek Stevenson, but I'm gonna go Kyler Gordon, man. I'm going to go Kyler Gordon. I
Oh,
think,
Spidey.
yeah, I think in this defense, now health is a concern.
Sure.
Hopefully he can play all 17 this year. But I think he's a dynamic player, very electric, super athletic, instinctive. A guy you want coming off that corner blitz. In the nickel. You know, um, I think he's going to have a better coverage year this season than years past.
Okay.
Because his rookie year, you seen sparks. He made a lot of plays, but injuries just seemed to knock him off a rhythm.
Yeah, Darius. Speaking of injuries,
Mm-hmm.
and I told you I was looking at the depth chart earlier. They show him as questionable. Have you heard of any kind of injury to Kyler?
Kyler,
Why he would be shown questionable?
um, nothing outside of maybe some soft tissue stuff, but I think that's normal around this time. And as far as any kind of injury report now, nah, I haven't heard anything. But these guys, they once that uh once that mini camp situation was over, I think guys are doing a lot of resting, doing a lot of recovering, because for the time that some of these guys did take off, they have these soft tissue injuries that they have to maintain. So no, I haven't heard anything, but I'm sure he'll be ready for training camp. No doubt about it. He just got paid too.
Yeah, I even Googled it, man. Tried to look it up. I couldn't find anything about it. It just struck me funny just to see the queue.
Yeah. But yeah, let's Kyler Gordon, I think he's gonna have a huge year from a coverage standpoint this season. And I'm intrigued about some of these rookies too. I think one of
Well,
these rookies that we picked from the defensive end, I think they're gonna make some splashes through in this next season.
and in regards to Kyler, yeah, Dennis Allen had mentioned that he's going to find some other stuff for him to do,
Yeah.
other than nickel.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm intrigued about what that might be.
So am I. And I think it's just, like I said, I think it's just gonna add on to my thoughts of him this coming season. Like I said, I think he from a coverage standpoint, I think he's going to have a heck of a year. I think because he's going to be put in a lot of advantageous situations.
I think we got I think we got one or two undrafted free agents that might make the team defensively.
Yeah, yeah, we have a couple of those every year too. So
Yeah,
that's
well, speaking of which, I mean that
mhm.
that linebacker spot that's open
Yeah,
was a undrafted free agent spot. We let him go in free agency, but uh, the dude
Sanborn.
basic, basically, he had started a couple games because of injuries to other people. I forget who it was, but then we mid-season traded Roquan, and he started ever since.
Jack Sanborn.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and that was his rookie year.
yeah. He
Yeah,
was he. Listen, I don't have any arguments about Jack Sanborn. I think he did more than enough to stay on this team, but I think he found a team that's gonna give him more of an opportunity and probably gonna pay him a little more than we are. So good for him.
yeah, sure.
And he's going into a scheme that he's familiar with already. So he will have a leg up on some of those guys that's there. So yeah, good for him. But I think for what Dennis Allen is asking for, I don't think Jack fits.
I think that was it. I think it was more of a kind of a scheme or a fitment thing that we probably wasn't interested in trying to. Because I don't even think they offered him a contract. I didn't hear of anything about them even trying to deal with him
No.
or his agent, what have you. They just let him go to free agency.
Hmm. Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't hear anything either. But once Dennis Allen came in, his focus is so much on speed, and that's one thing that Jack Sanborn could not give us. And
Yeah, yeah, he
we can't
wasn't that
teach him to
fast.
be fast, man.
But I kind of feel bad for him in a way because I mean, uh, like we just mentioned, he came
Mm.
in as an undrafted free agent rookie, ends up starting half his rookie season and the next two seasons, and you know, we don't even try to keep him. Don't even offer him a contract. Uh, like kind of like we used him and threw him out. You know what I mean?
Well, Buck, I think that may tell you what condition we were in as a team altogether.
Well, that too. Yeah, 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 and yeah, I hear you. That's a
Yeah,
fact.
but
But
nevertheless, he came in and played his butt off. Though
yeah,
he came in and played hard and played
he,
well.
yeah, he did.
And you never heard him complain. You never, what I'm saying. You never heard him catch a fit about what was going on. You never really heard from him at all. He just
No,
went out there, put his helmet on, went out there and played ball. So, like I said, he got a little bit more change in his pocket, Ed, and he's going into a familiar situation as far from a schematic standpoint. And
yeah.
then he's going into a coach that knows him. So I think he's in a very good spot in Dallas. There's room for him there. He has room to come in and do the same things he's done in Chicago. I just hope when they come and play us, he doesn't be that impactful.
Right. You wish him the best, except for when he played in
Yeah,
Chicago,
that's
just
it. I
like
hope.
anybody else.
I
Just
hope
like
he.
anybody else.
I hope he rips a hole in the NFC East. I
Right.
hope he tears guys apart. And when he plays Minnesota, Green Bay, and Detroit, I hope I hope he looks like an All Pro.
Right.
But just don't come playing us with all that energy. We don't need that type of energy from you. So yeah, man.
Hey, fun fact.
Hmm.
Now we're totally getting off of the Bears here for a minute, even with Sandbrun. But the Kansas City tight end, what's his name?
Kelsey,
Kelsey. His girlfriend.
Taylor Swift.
You know who introduced Kelsey to Taylor Swift?
Who is that?
Jack Sanborn.
No.
Yeah,
Is that right?
yeah.
Hey man, he making plays on and off the field, man.
Uh,
He got to
yeah,
be a heck of a guy, man.
yeah.
Maybe we are
I read
missing
that.
something.
Yeah, I read that a while back.
Oh wow, that's interesting.
Hmm.
One of the, I know we touched on a rookie earlier, but another rookie I want to touch on here is Shamar Turner, defensive end.
And he shows to be questionable still from his college injury, right? Because we knew he was injured when we drafted him too, right?
Well, I think the
We took
big thing
two.
with him, I think he remains unsigned.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
and usually the Bears get their guys in there and sign them pretty quick. I don't know what's up with this situation, but it's a thing like that going on around the league.
Well, and he may be unsigned partially because of that injury. Because I was reading up on it earlier,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get ready for the show,
Mm-hmm.
and I read something about that. It was a stress fracture that he had, and he had to get a pin put in it,
Mm.
and it wasn't healing like it was supposed to, or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
But and you bring up an interesting point, but I think it could be the other way around. I think these guys are choosing not to, participate in some of these things because they haven't signed a deal, which is smart on their part. But then again, they're going to come to training camp behind the eight ball. As far
Yeah,
as
that never really works out real well. I don't care who you are.
I mean,
Um,
for some guys it does, but I'm kind of torn on these situations because as a player, you have a right to protect yourself and things like that. But as a rookie, you want to have an understanding and you want to be up to speed, on the play, the mental side of the game as well as the physical. So it's kind of a tug of war for me. But just being a selfish Bears fan, I want everybody out on the field that's supposed to be, whatever in whatever capacity, and hopefully your representation can work out the numbers for you, and you can sign your deal after you get out the practice field or whatnot. But just from a player standpoint, look, I get it, and I think these guys are being advised to handle things this way because I truly think that's why Luther Burden hadn't come back yet because he still remains unsigned.
well, and another thing about uh is Shamir, right? Shamar.
Tomorrow, yeah,
Uh, he was before the injury. He was expected to be a first round draft pick,
yeah, it was possible.
A- and I think maybe um I think maybe that's why Poles took a shot on him. A part of it, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
they did all their homework. They watched him in college. They've seen all the tape, and um,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm pretty sure they had some knowledge of the injury, where he was at with it.
yeah,
But they some people say that that's a steal, that we stole him. Where we got him. We'll see. Another thing, it's
yeah.
like
I was about
all
to
these
say,
things. We're gonna find out.
yeah, I was about to say, yeah. We gonna wait and see on the steel part of it,
Sure.
But whoever came up with that, I hope they're 100% right. But it's just one of those unknown situations. But we'll see. Either way, as long as he remains unsigned, he's gonna remain behind things. And his former college teammate kind of has the same issue up in Cincinnati. He, I think he left. He left the voluntary camp. He walked off because and he's really putting out some bad press on the Cincinnati and their tactics when it comes to signing players. So he's giving them a hard time up there in Cincinnati. Now that's a former player, that's a former teammate of Shamar Turner.
Huh.
Maybe those guys are having conversations. Who knows? But Shamar Stewart, as a matter of fact, they share the same first name, different last name. Shamar Stewart
Huh.
of Texas A&M. He was picked in the top 20. I want to say number 17. He was picked at 17 in the first round, and he's having issues getting signed,
I'll
and he's
be.
really making his feelings being known.
Well, Darius, speaking of Cincinnati, um, James Childress wants us to tell him what we think about signing Hendrickson and giving up a couple picks. What do you think about
well,
that?
I mean,
You
listen,
think that's still a possibility? Of
it's most
course, it's still
definitely
a
a
possibility.
possibility because he's told Cincinnati that he ain't
He still
showing up
says
at all.
he still says he ain't gonna play. He's sticking to
Now
that so far.
Cincinnati has some issues, man, because okay,
Yeah,
your
they
best
do.
pass rusher, your best pass rusher's not showing up,
Yep.
and the guy you drafted to replace him has walked off on you. So you got some
Yeah.
decisions to make.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
They
Yeah,
got some.
you gotta figure some things out.
There's a mutiny in there.
Yeah, something going on.
Yeah, something. I think there's more wrong with Cincinnati than any of us know. That's not the story hadn't come out yet. I think it will come out. I think it's shit's gonna hit the fan, and some stories gonna come out about what's going on in Cincinnati. Something's weird there, man.
Yeah. Shout out to Crooked Commish.
It's not just regular, huh?
Shout out to Crooked Commish. But yeah, listen, Ed, you're 100% right. But getting Trey in Chicago, I think we should do what it takes. I don't. I've always been a guy who wants to preserve draft capital, but at the end of the day, we're gonna meet at this crossroad at some point. So, are we trying to take this thing all the way, or are we gonna slow roll it? I think if we have an opportunity to mash the gas and get to where we need to be, I think we should. And if Trey Hendricks is the 100% difference maker that's going to put us over the hump, undoubtedly, I think we should do what's necessary to get him. But there's a but. There's always a but.
Yes, there is.
When I hear the Bears and Trey Henderson together, I think about the Bears and Khalil Mack, right?
Yeah,
What the Raiders told Khalil Mack at this time, hey, we're with you making all these NFL All Pros, making these Pro Bowls, being the number one guy at your position around the league. We're still as a team in the lower half in defense. Okay? So we can do that without you. So I'm wondering in Cincinnati's hesitance to pay him for these 2 years, are they telling him the same thing?
that's a good possibility because that's kind of the situation they're in.
Right. And so they're gonna put themselves in a position to try to fleece someone to overpay into getting him.
Yeah, and I'm not.
And
I'm all for getting Hendrickson. I'm
mhm,
not all for overpaying for him, and I don't think Poles is either.
right. And I think that's where we're at. And that's why what we want to happen hadn't happened yet. I mean, because honestly, Cincinnati's defense improved a little bit at the end of the year, but they were horrible. All the plays he was making for them, they were still a horrible defensive unit.
Yep.
So, you know, is he really the guy that can put us over the hump, or was he just the best defensive player on a bad team?
There you go.
These are the things we have to think about. I mean, because we traded a second round pick for a guy, Montez Sweat, and he had an impact for that season. We hope and pray that he can be that guy that he was the year we traded for him,
Yeah, because he wasn't last year.
because he was not last year.
No.
I
He
mean, regardless of what he had going on, he just wasn't.
yeah. Put him in the
He
same
wasn't
box
what
as
he is.
Tremaine Edmonds because
Yeah.
they got they got paid. We traded for him. We got or we didn't trade for Edmonds. He was a free agent, but we paid him
Mm-hmm.
well. And with some expectations, and so far hasn't met them. Same with
Right.
Sweat. He did. He gave us a spark
Yep.
when we traded for him the rest of that season, uh, 2 years ago. But last year, um, did not play up to what we expected from him, all season long. I
Yeah.
mean,
He was.
he was a mediocre uh, pass rusher. Uh, I don't even know if you looked at his stats, if he would have been in the middle of the league. He might have been towards the bottom. Uh,
Agreed.
Not acceptable. Not acceptable.
Right. So, this is what we're dealing with here. And as I spoke to the people that's watching this, our fans and supporters that's watching this, um, with all the good that we spoke about, throughout the last few weeks, we have to get real and touch on some of the concerns that we have, because they are real. You know, we're talking about someone we're talking about getting someone to play opposite of Montez Sweat. Let's really take a look at Montez Sweat and
Right?
really ask ourselves, is he the guy that we think he is? I mean, because it's worth a question.
Sure it is.
Yeah. And with a lot of the love that we've shown these guys and the grace that we've given Montez Sweat, because of the year that he had last season, because he may have been dealing with, some injuries that he was trying to play through. And I love that. I love the fact that he was willing to play through injury. But we have to mention the lack of production. It has to go hand in hand.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah. You
Um,
know,
I'm, I'm, and I'm hopeful. We spoke of, the new scheme, the Dennis Allen way, and whatever.
mhm.
I hope that helps Montez as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And we have a
And
guy that we brought in.
it could be make a big difference. It could make a
Yeah,
huge difference
absolutely.
because he's got all
Absolutely.
the talent. He does. I mean,
He has a
ain't
whole
no
lot
doubt
of it.
about that.
He has a whole lot of it. He has a whole lot of talent. But the thing too, we brought in a guy in Io and Dagbo. I hope I said his name right.
You
But we
probably
brought in
not,
a
but
guy. This is another guy that we hope that he's going to be productive. It's a lot of unknowns here, man.
Allen had a hand in picking him up. That was all discussed. Because I'm gonna tell you what. Something else I wanted to touch on, which Darius, is that he, prior to this coaching staff, Poles made his own decisions. He listened to what Eberflus had to say or whatever, and what Eberflus had to say. First thing he wanted was a top notch 3 tech. He never got him the whole time he was here, right? Dex,
Well, yeah.
uh, but I'm telling you, I know he put this group together. Uh, I truly feel like now these guys not only not only is he listening to them more than he listened to any coaches he ever had, they're participating in these decisions. I really believe that. And that being said, Allen wanted to do.
Yeah. I
He
mean,
had a
no doubt
plan
about
for him already.
it. No
So
doubt about it.
yeah. So all in all, defensively, I'd say we're in pretty doggone good shape. Yeah. Well, edge is going to be uh, the thing that we need to pick up on. Um, you know, we're I know I am. I'm guessing you are still hoping
Yeah.
for one more surprise before the season starts, and it doesn't have to be Hendrickson. That'd be great, but
Yeah.
um, I'm hoping for one more addition, and hoping that it is someone as an edge rusher. Maybe even maybe Poe's got a kind of an idea of a guy or two that he thinks might get dropped from a team that he could get a decent deal on that would really help out. Maybe they got some inside information of somebody that's going to get cut. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all coming up too. You know?
Happens every year.
Yeah, yeah,
I mean, we just had a guy cut in division at Jair Alexander. And I was surprised that even though our secondary seems like it's solidified, but I still think the Bears should try to put their bid in. Because I don't think you can never have enough cornermen in today's NFL. He's experienced. He's been a Pro Bowler.
yeah. Do
He's
you
very good
get
player.
any? You see any information at all, Darius, about what went down there? Because that was a surprise to me too. Probably everybody.
It wasn't a surprise for me. I think based off of what I know myself and what I've seen is that he's missed a lot of time. He's missed a lot of time. He missed a lot of time because of injury, and Green Bay doesn't value him as much as they used to because they've still had some success with him being gone, and they've drafted his position. The last few years, even after they signed him to a good deal, they still drafted his position, looking to, kind of replace him in a sense. And
Yeah,
then he
I
didn't help
didn't.
himself last year too. He ended up getting suspended a few times for some conduct detrimental to the team or whatever.
Oh,
So yeah, it's
that would have
been
really played into it. Yeah,
the last few years have kind of been a roller coaster for him.
yeah.
So
I didn't look into it at all, like his contract or anything like that. But I wonder what kind of money they had to eat to get rid of him. Because I mean, he they cut him. He was still under contract. They ate
mhm,
something.
yeah.
And as you said, they just gave him a decent contract somewhat recently.
Hmm.
I wonder how it was wrote and what they had to eat to off him,
Well, listen, man. We all know the NFL stands for not for long. You
right?
know, if you're not, if you're not, if the if the team can't utilize your best ability, then they're gonna find somebody that they can utilize. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Regardless of what they're paying you, because not a whole lot of guaranteed contracts out here in the NFL. There is some coming along, but It's still not as many as a lot of these other sports entities. So these guys is it's a what have you done for me lately type of deal. And I think Jair had got caught up in that. Still being a productive player. We see it all the time. We see productive players go other places and have, good finishes to their career. But it just comes down to another team feeling that they can replace the guy. Just because the team feel like you're replaceable, it doesn't necessarily make you a bad player. You're just
No,
not good. You're just not good for them anymore.
right.
So, and I think that's where Green Bay is with Jair Alexander. And you know, even though the Bears may not be a huge threat to sign him, I was kind of surprised that we're not whispering. I think we should be any impactful player. I think we should be in on regardless of position. Because smart players can improve your team more ways than one. So even if we're not a threat to sign Jair Alexander, our name should be in the hat. It
Yeah,
should
but
be
we,
talked about that Chicago's interested.
but we've also always been a team that uh, put a lot of stock into personal traits and conduct, and not wanting to get anything in our locker room that would cause problems and such. And if what you're saying is correct, that might have a lot to do. What had a lot to do with possibly him getting cut out of there could be have a lot to do with why the Bears haven't shown any interest in him.
Yeah, and you're 100% correct. I cannot argue with that at all. But I'm not saying that we have to sign them, but put it out there that we're interested. If nothing else, just put it out there that we're interested. Any great player that hits the market, our name needs to be called. The Bears need to be called and saying that they've expressed interest. Not saying that they're willing to sign them, but hey, we're interested.
Well, the Bears fans are anybody who gets cut, even backups. Boy,
Have to
oh, we don't
be.
have that.
I mean, and I say this, and people question my thought process when it comes down to this, but I say this because this is what all the other great organizations do. Philadelphia just won a Super Bowl. They drafted heavy secondary the year before, and going into that year, the Super Bowl year, they drafted secondary, but their name is still in the Jair Alexander conversation. You know what I mean? Kansas City, they had all pro corners, all pro safety, but their name is in these conversations when good players are available. You know, the Patriots, when they were at their best, it's not much to say about them now, but I guess they're on the come up. But when they were at their best, when a great player was available, the Patriots always threw their name in the hat. They didn't always sign the guys, but they always did their due diligence and show interest. And I need the Bears to get better at that.
I hear you.
We have a special announcement. Starting in July, we will be giving away jerseys bi-weekly. So every other week we'll be giving away a jersey. So I want the Bears fans to kind of get a early start on which guy they want to wear on their back for the upcoming
Well, they
season.
want that Buck Nasty jersey. That's what they want.
What number is that jersey, Buck?
54.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we talk
That's
about
cool. That's cool. That's good to hear.
yeah, man.
I
Listen,
didn't know that.
great,
Yeah, it's
great,
cool.
great for fan engagement. Great for fans to go out there at Soldier Field and go out to these tailgates and show the support, man. It's warranted for sure.
Yeah,
And then
man.
it, and then you save it because in the next couple of years You're gonna go to a pretty palace. Bears gonna be playing in a Bears gonna be caught up with the rest of the league and have their own fortress to play in Arlington
We,
Heights.
we surely hope so, but man,
They
it's
don't seem like
dragging,
they can
ain't it?
get it together, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it's dragging, but it will happen someday.
Yeah, I
I
think
hope, I
so.
hope, I hope to make it that long.
Yeah, listen, I think you'll be around, man. Shoot, I hope I make it that long too. The way I'm hearing this being gone about. I mean, but the illustrations that I've seen are nice, man. Pictures are
Yeah,
beautiful.
they draw some good pictures, don't they?
Yeah, they know how to gauge. They know how to draw you in, don't they?
Yeah. Warren said he
Yeah,
want to have a shovel in the ground. Man, I let him borrow my shovel if he's, shy of a shovel.
yeah. If it's
Shoot.
gonna help, right?
All right. I got a couple shovels.
Yeah. So listen, Ed, I appreciate you kicking it with me tonight, and I'm sure the Bears fans that's watching us tonight appreciate your presence. Um, you got anything? You got anything else for me before we get out of here?
No, no, no. I'm gonna let it go.
You gonna let it go?
Just gonna let it go, Darius.
I heard that.
Till the next time.
Till the next time. Shout out to everyone that's checking us out tonight. Shout out to all you guys in the chat. Appreciate the support. Appreciate the love. Um, until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Good hanging with you again, Darius.
Hey, likewise. And to all you guys watching us, wherever you're watching us from, please like and subscribe. Peace up and bear down.
Absolutely.